Hi everybody, my name is Noah Abelson. I'm the CEO and co-founder of ShareRoot. We've been around for roughly 2 years, but it wasn't until just about 6 months ago that we shifted focus and came upon a huge opportunity that we're getting a lot of traction with. And if the clicker works, okay, perfect. One thing that we see is consumers are significantly disconnected from the brands that are trying to speak to them. I'll never forget seeing this ad, tagline, how can he explain to his sensitive young wife as the man leaves his home and will not speak with his wife? This is for a feminine hygiene product. Are you kidding me? Another one, see how it covers over black, Elliot's white veneer. Now my guess is you're thinking, okay, these are old ads, right? It doesn't happen anymore. Take a look at this. This hashtag why I stayed, was created by survivors of domestic abuse. For instance, if you get a little closer to read it, abuse steals your self-esteem and dignity. You stop trusting yourself, hashtag why I stayed. Then DiGiorno decided to participate in the conversation. Hashtag why I stayed, you had pizza. And consumers spoke up. But did DiGiorno listen? Another one. Victoria's Secret's the perfect body. How out of touch can you be? Again, consumers spoke up. Social media has given us all a voice, but brands still aren't positioned to listen. That's where ShareRoot comes in. Our goal is to help brands craft their messaging to consumers with the use of the consumer's voice. The MVP of our tool is a tool that pulls in user-generated content from Twitter and Instagram within a few clicks, granting our clients licensing and access to those images. So Costco, one of our happy clients, pulled this photo in through ShareRoot's platform. Not only did it get a ton of engagements when they posted it to Facebook, you can also see that one of their fans is actually saying, I need to go out and get an Instagram account so that you guys can leverage my photos for your marketing. Another example, UCLA. This is a collage that they put together before ShareRoot. They received roughly 2,000 total engagements. This is a photo, next one, is a photo that they pulled through ShareRoot's platform, receiving roughly double the amount of engagements. Another happy client, Stubbs barbecue sauce, image on the left created by one of their designers in-house. 71 engagements. Image on the right, not only more visually appealing, but also 118 engagements also pulled through ShareRoot's platform. Before ShareRoot, our clients on average spent 2 to 3 hours per photo for licensing, 12 days lag time for approval, and roughly $40 for designer modification. The market itself is massive. Unparalleled growth within the social media space, both on marketing spend and on usership, the two charts. The quote at the bottom is from our friends over at Foundation Capital. In a recent white paper, they estimate that the marketing tech sector is going to 10x over the next 10 years to the tune of $120 billion addressable. Today's consumer is changing and already has changed. 77% of consumers consider UGC to play a role in their purchasing decisions, and over 49%, that number continues to climb, of images requested through ShareRoot's platform are approved by users who have not received any sort of incentive whatsoever. Lastly, our revenue model. Enterprise clients are our main focus, even though we get interest from small to medium-sized brands. And lastly, slide on our team.
Sorry.
And a bottle of wine.
We're running out of time.
Got it.
Moving on. All right.
All right.
Judges. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
Time wasn't up with him. You came out before 4.
No, that's not true. I waited until 0. I really did.
He's the man with the cards, but go, run your thing.
Sorry. All right, so guys, what do you think? Mike?
Noah, how much curation is required by ShareRoot?
How much curation on the automatic side, on the manual side?
Yeah, of the content.
Right, yeah, so it's perfect. So the platform, so our clients log in, and right when they log into the platform, the images are displayed in real time, pulled in from Instagram and Twitter. So you can type in whatever keyword and hashtag you'd like, and then it pulls in those images, and then all they have to do is press request. there's a default request message, or the brands can go in and actually change the request message if they'd like, but ShareRoot doesn't actually do anything. And then all the licensing and permissions is built into our backend, so that when the user receives a comment from Costco saying, hey, we'd love to use this image, please go to this website, use this pic.com. The user goes through a 3-step process. All the licensing is signed off on there. And then once the user approves it, then the brand receives an email saying, hey, Sarah just approved your request. You can use this image now.
And is it images only, or is it also content?
Great question. So we launched the beta for our program at the beginning of December. We came out of beta at the end of February. So what we're seeing with the tool right now is very much the tip of the iceberg. And then we'll be progressing from there. So we will be pulling in video content. We have a bunch of different features. I can go into any of them if they're of interest. Yeah.
So what monetary incentives do you provide users for sharing this content? Right.
So it's a really good question. So when we built, and anybody would assume, so when we built this user flow, we went with a very conservative step-by-step process where the user had to sign over licensing. And we assumed that it would be a little arduous for them, and a lot of them would fall off over time. So we assumed that like approval rating through the whole 3-step process would be about 10 to 15%. As you can see, it's over 49%. We put the pitch deck together, and it was at 47% a few days ago. So it keeps climbing. So right now, we're not incentivizing in any way. Down the line, we will build out a whole functionality for kind of like an ambassador program, so that as a brand, you can decide how much you want to incentivize, again, Sarah, who's given you 3 photos, or maybe Mike, who's given you 10 photos. Right? You can incentivize them in different ways, but we don't necessarily want to create like a barometer for, you know, it's always going to be $10 off or whatever it may be. And what you, sorry, real quick, and what you see in this is people are just really driven to connect, right? It's all about developing their relationships. They're really driven to connect.
So most brands have a social media monitoring management platform in place, often multiple tools.
Right.
I guess first question is, how do you integrate with them? And then second, how do you compete with them in case they start to build out this kind of functionality?
Yeah, so it really depends. There's tons. It's a pretty crowded space, so that's a really big point. I guess it depends on exactly which competitors. So there's a few in sort of the UGC aggregating space, so that's very much like our key focus right now. Pecora, one of them, does a little UGC. And so there's a few in that space, but they're really focused on UGC. And again, for us, it's very much the tip of the iceberg. We see this as a shift in focus from more of managing your content, your marketing spend, which it seems like a lot of the current providers do, to more of a focus on, again, helping brands develop the relationships with consumers. And that's what brand marketers seem to be really, really interested about. So when we came through our shift in focus or pivot, we sat down, we started this off by sitting down with brand managers and saying, just tell us about your day. What are the pain points? What are the tools you use? Okay, use Hootsuite, use Percolate. What do they not have that you have? And it seems like a lot of brand managers are really passionate about their craft, not in the way that they want to get it done, check mark and walk out. They really want to keep building those relationships. So we see a bit of a different vision there. Yeah.
How many images have you processed, and what's your revenue, and what's the business model?
Yeah, so business model is SaaS. Images processed, there's been a little over 1,000 images requested.
What's the pricing?
Yes, so we have, right now we have 1 tier, so very much it's a land and expand model. By the middle of 2016, we're going to have 4 tiers, small, medium, large, and enterprise. So small will be $350 a month. Medium is going to be $900 a month. Large is going to be $1,900 a month. And then enterprise is $4,750 a month. And again, our focus is going to be on enterprise, even though we believe we will be bringing in clients on the small to medium size. Yeah.
Nice job, Noah, with the presentation. I went to the Giants game last night, and we're going to continue to see people take pictures and do a hashtag AT&T Park, and then you're up on the big screen. And so I think we are going to see people probably enjoying seeing their product, their creation in other places. And I do think that Noah touched upon one of the challenges they have is how do you fit into the already crowded social media marketing arena, and is this a feature of a larger product, or how do you take this and expand it, and so you do not have other people moving into it. So that's an area to focus on.
So I'm sorry, we're completely out of time. So leave that one.
We should chat about it afterwards.
That's a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
so
lots to talk about though.
Here's bread and butter wine for you.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys.